Hello everyone. So I want to ask you guys all a question. What do you think about when you hear the word the devil? Now, there's a lot of different reactions. You could think of it as like the actual monster and be terrified, or you can think of it as a sports team. Or, if you're into wine, the Velvet Devil. All right, everyone, so the Velvet Devil, wow, what a name that is. Two words that I never would imagine go together, velvet and devil. To be honest, I think the Velvet Devil sounds like a upscale restaurant that would be in New York City. But the Velvet Devil is a brand of Merlot from Washington State. So when we think about wines, a lot of your wines tend to be found in areas that have the right climate for it. And Washington State is not normally an area that is well thought of when we think about wine. When I think of wines, I tend to think of Italy, of course, because I'm Italian, I'm biased to that, or France, or Europe. But the United States does have a lot of good wines. And each area of the USA that grows wine, like Napa Valley, California, they tend to have their own properties that make them special because the climate may be interesting, the variety of grapes are a little bit more New World, and the soil quality, and what time it's harvested in. So one of my favorite guides to wine, and I call this the Wine Bible, is the Wine Isn't Rocket Science book. You can get it at Barnes & Noble. It is a great read that will give you a crash course in wine, but it's also advanced enough that you can let your skills in wine tasting grow as you read this. And I want to read you guys a little excerpt from this, from Washington State. East of the Cascades lies Columbia Valley. This large region dotted with vineyards is an arid plateau where the sun beats down and gives rise to dark and powerful wines. But night is as cold as day is hot, which prevents the grapes from burning and ensures wine have good acidity. These temperatures differences are accompanied by essential irrigation, and careful attention to detail. The efforts of a group determined to produce the richest and most flavorful wines in the country. This area is very promising. So it talks about the different types of wines. Merlot exploits the uncommon power in the Columbia Valley, far from light and fruity standards to which it is often confined. So, most Merlots, I love Merlots by the way, it's one of my favorite wines, next to a good Cabernet. Most Merlots are very fruity and, they're not too dry and they're not too sweet. So they're kind of somewhere right in the middle. And that's why I think Merlots are great, because they're good for a party. You can bring them and everyone likes them. Now, if you go to the profiles, because this book has a nice section on profiles of wines, you'll see that the Merlot is a little bit less tannic compared to a Cabernet that tends to be a little bit more on the tannic side, tends to be a little bit more acidic. It has aromas of fruit, and with age it can develop scents of and flavors of leather, wild game, and meat juice. So with the overview, Merlot is an ideal companion to Cabernet. And this is one area in the book I really like. It could be, It is very popular everyday wine. It is fruity and easy to drink while young and pleases many palates. So younger people tend to like Merlot. The intro to wine tasting tends to like Merlot. And if you just appreciate wine, Merlot is a great wine to have every day with your dinner or right before bed. So I'm gonna pop this open and pour a glass. So this is a really nice color. If you guys can see, it's a very, very deep burgundy. It's got really nice burgundy red violet tones to it. When you swish it around, it's got a nice little mark. It's got a little bit of a spicy hint to it. So I definitely get primary aromas of deep fruit. I get a mixture of prune and dark cherry, black cherry. And I also smell some leathery notes to it. It has like a bit of spice to it, almost like a nutmeg cinnamon. So I'd have to assume that this wine was harvested in the fall. I don't know the exact price of this because, by the way, this wine has been in my wine rack since 2011. And this is actually when it was made. So this has been there for nearly 10 years. So it's got time to age and develop its flavor. It was a screw cap bottle too. And it was bottled in Columbia Valley, Washington State, Mattawa, Washington, USA. And it was bottled by Charles Smith Wines. So this is a wine company I have no idea about. I will tell you this before I do the tasting. I love the graphics. The graphics are amazing. The little pitchfork, the type is gorgeous. This definitely is a wine that is eye appealing. And if I was in the store, I would definitely get this for like a Halloween party, something that would be really interesting. So I'm gonna go do the tasting for you guys. Wow. It is not very tannic at all. It feels very gentle. It smells, you kind of smell it when you taste it, but the taste is very powerful. This is a very, a little bit bold. The flavors have developed even after airing this bottle for a little bit. I get notes of stone fruit. So I definitely taste black cherry, but I get a second note of prune. And I taste a little bit of the leather, but I actually think it's more like meat juice. It definitely has a gamey taste to it that I can't really distinguish. Scent-wise, it smells like leather, but taste-wise, it's kind of like almost like a steak, very juicy. Has a game taste to it that I've never really tasted before. So, it definitely is a wine that I think can be enjoyed with a lot of meals. It can be enjoyed by any ages. I think that this is a good wine if you are new to wine tasting and you want to get a wine that is, you know, local from the USA and you want to save a buck. This is definitely the way to go. So I actually would rate this wine a 5 out of 5. It's different. I've never had a Merlot that has been a little bit bold like this is and has been as powerful. So Washington State definitely has a unique wine profile, and the climate with a very, very hot morning with a cool night that will help the flavors develop is really interesting because you actually get to develop your flavors better, but you're literally running with a window this big because if it's any hotter, it would destroy the grapes. And this really gives it character, and this is a wine that is definitely bold. So I would rate this a 5 out of 5, and this is definitely a wine that I would definitely consider buying again, and I would keep in my wine collection to pull out for special occasions. So the Velvet Devil, it definitely has a kick to it. I like that pitchfork. Powerful wine, great wine for beginners and those that want to buy local to the United States. So Velvet Devil, go out and try this. My viewers down below, let me know if you guys have tried the Velvet Devil, if you like the Velvet Devil. If not, let me know if you've tried any wines from Washington State. I'd be curious to know. So I'll be on more videos for you guys soon. I'll be doing a review on a local wine from Jersey coming up next.